I lost him twice. The first time, when I gave him away to friends, thinking it was for the best. The second time, 2 years later, when I saw a Facebook post. Found dog. Does anyone know the owner? In the photo was Eddie, my Eddie. The same soft ears I used to scratch behind, the same graying muzzle, the eyes that had watched me through everything, through deaths, through moves, through loss after loss. And now, somehow, impossibly, he was staring at me from a stranger's Facebook page. Eddie came into my life right after tragedy. My first dog had died, hit by a car, and I was shattered, empty. Then my grandmother called. She'd found a puppy, abandoned, needing a home. She asked if I wanted him. I wasn't ready. But when I saw him, small and scared, looking up at me with those eyes, I knew he was mine. I named him Eddie. He was young, full of energy, always underfoot. He had this way of being exactly where you needed him. When I was sad, he'd rest his head on my knee. When I was happy, he'd bounce around like a fool. He became part of everything, part of the family. My grandmother loved him. She'd sneak him treats when she thought I wasn't looking. Call him the old man, even though he was just a pup. She'd sit in her chair, and Eddie would lie at her feet, always at her feet. It was their thing. But then she got sick, cancer. It happened fast. One day she was fine, the next she was in the hospital. Eddie knew something was wrong. He'd sit by the door waiting for her to come home. She never did. When she died, I swear Eddie grieved. He'd go to her chair and just sit there, staring at nothing, waiting. A year later, my mom got sick too. Different illness, same fear. Eddie was there through all of it. The hospital visits, the sleepless nights, the worry that ate at me constantly. He'd lie next to me, heavy and warm, and somehow it helped. She recovered, thank God, but it left me exhausted, worn down. Life kept moving. I got married. My wife loved Eddie immediately, called him Gramps because of how serious he looked. He had all these nicknames: the old man, Gramps, Eddie Bear. He was family, completely, utterly family. Then came the move. New job, new city, new life, and suddenly everything got complicated. The apartment didn't allow dogs. I tried to find a place that did. Nothing worked. Days passed. The move date approached. I panicked. I called some friends, asked if they could take Eddie. Just temporarily, I said, until we got settled. They agreed. They loved dogs. They'd take good care of him. I told myself it was the right thing. For him, for us. Temporary. The day I dropped him off, he looked at me. Those eyes. He didn't understand. I scratched behind his ears one last time, told him I'd be back, lied to both of us. I drove away and I didn't look back because if I had, I would have turned around. Temporary turned into weeks, weeks turned into months. I told myself I'd go back for him. I told myself we'd find a place, but life got busy, work consumed me, the new city was overwhelming, and every time I thought about Eddie, guilt crushed me. I'd given him away, abandoned him, after everything we'd been through. My wife would ask about him. When are we getting Eddie back? I'd change the subject, make excuses, too busy, still looking for a place. Soon, always soon. But the truth? I was afraid. Afraid he wouldn't forgive me. Afraid he'd forgotten me. Afraid that I'd destroyed the one good, pure thing in my life because I couldn't handle the logistics of a move. 6 months passed, then a year. My friends sent updates, photos. Eddie was doing fine, they said. Happy, settled. Each photo felt like a knife. He looked older, grayer. The puppy energy was gone, replaced by the slow dignity of an old dog. My old dog, who I'd left behind. There was this one time, maybe 8 months in, when I almost drove back, got in the car, started the engine, sat there for 20 minutes, then turned it off and went back inside. What was I going to say? Sorry I abandoned you, want to come live in my tiny apartment where you're not allowed? I tried to move on, tried to convince myself it was better this way. He had a yard, other dogs to play with, space to run. What did I have to offer? a cramped apartment and a guilty conscience. But at night, I'd remember things, stupid things, the way he used to steal food if you left it unattended. This one time we'd made ribs for a barbecue, expensive ribs, left them on the counter to rest, turned around for 2 minutes, came back and they were gone, every single one. Eddie was in the corner, looking guilty as hell, sauce on his face. We called him Rib Thief for months after that. Or the time he got into the garbage and spread it across the entire living room. Shredded paper, coffee grounds, everything. He was sitting in the middle of it all, tail wagging, proud of himself. I couldn't even be mad, just laughed. Those memories hurt, because they reminded me that he wasn't just a dog. He was a personality, a presence, a member of the family who had seen me at my worst and loved me anyway. My wife didn't push, but I could see it bothered her too. She'd met Eddie only a few times before the move, but she'd fallen in love with him. "He's your dog," she'd say. "He belongs with you." I didn't have an answer for that. Year 2 hit. 2 full years without him. I'd convinced myself he'd forgotten me by now. Dogs move on, right? They live in the moment. Surely he was happy with my friends. Surely he didn't remember the guy who'd dropped him off and never came back. I was wrong. It was my wife who found the post. She was scrolling through Facebook, probably avoiding work, when she saw it. A local animal group, shared by a friend of a friend. Found dog. Male, older, friendly. No collar. Does anyone know the owner? And there was the photo. Eddie. Unmistakably Eddie. Older, grayer, but those eyes. I'd know those eyes anywhere. My wife screamed. Actually screamed. "That's Eddie! That's him!" I couldn't breathe. My hands shook. How? How was he on Facebook? How was he lost? What happened? My wife was already messaging the person who posted, furiously typing, "That's our dog. Where did you find him? Is he okay? We're coming to get him." I just stared at the photo. 2 years. 2 years of guilt and regret and telling myself it was too late. And here he was, found by a stranger, posted on Facebook. Like fate was giving me one more chance. The person responded quickly. They'd found him wandering in a neighborhood about 20 miles from where my friends lived. No collar, no tags. He'd been wandering for who knows how long. They'd taken him in, fed him, kept him safe while they looked for the owner. My wife asked for the address, said we were coming right now, immediately. The person said Eddie was welcome to stay as long as needed, but sure, come over. I couldn't move, couldn't think. What if he didn't remember me? What if 2 years was too long? What if I'd hurt him so badly that he'd look at me like a stranger? My wife grabbed my arm. "Get in the car." Not a request, a command. I got in the car. The drive felt eternal. Every mile stretched. My mind raced. What would I say? How do you apologize to a dog? Can they even understand betrayal? We pulled up to the house, a small place, neat yard, and there, through the window, I could see movement. My wife knocked. A woman answered, kind face, mid-40s maybe. She smiled. "You're here for Eddie?" I nodded. Couldn't speak. She stepped aside. "He's in the living room, been waiting by the door since you messaged. It's the strangest thing." We walked in, and there he was, sitting by the door, head tilted, staring right at me. 2 years. 2 years of guilt and distance and believing I'd lost him forever. And he was staring at me with those same eyes, older, grayer, the muzzle almost white now. His body a little slower, a little stiffer, but the eyes, God, the eyes were the same. I knelt down, didn't say anything, just knelt. For a moment, nothing happened. He stared, I stared. Time stopped. Then his tail moved, just a twitch, then a wag. Then he was walking toward me, slowly, like he wasn't sure, like he needed to confirm. I held out my hand. He sniffed it, once, twice. Then his whole body started shaking. The tail went wild, and suddenly he was on me, pawing at me, licking my face, whining. A sound I'd never heard him make, high-pitched, desperate, like he'd been holding it in for 2 years. I wrapped my arms around him, buried my face in his fur. He smelled different, like someone else's house, but underneath, still Eddie, still mine. I was crying, didn't even realize it at first, just tears streaming down my face while Eddie licked them away. My wife was crying too. The woman who'd found him was crying. Everyone was crying. "I'm sorry," I whispered into his fur. "I'm so sorry. I should never have left you. I'm sorry." He just kept licking my face, shaking, whining, like he was saying, I know, it's okay. You're here now." The woman told us what she knew. She'd found him 3 days ago, wandering down a busy road, no collar. He was limping slightly, favored his back leg. She'd pulled over, opened her car door, and he'd jumped right in, like he was waiting for someone to stop. She'd posted everywhere, local groups, animal shelters, veterinary offices. No one claimed him. No one knew where he came from. She'd almost taken him to a shelter, but something made her wait. Post one more time. That's when my wife saw it. I asked about my friends. What happened? How did he get out? The woman didn't know. I called them later, got the story. Eddie had been fine for over a year. Then one day he dug under the fence, just took off. They'd searched for days, posted everywhere, nothing. Assumed he'd been picked up by someone, maybe taken to a shelter in another county. They'd been devastated. They'd lost him. And somehow, impossibly, he'd found his way toward me. Not to them. Toward where I was. 20 miles through suburbs and highways. An old dog, limping, but determined. My wife had a theory. He was looking for you. I didn't believe it. Couldn't. That's not how dogs work. They don't navigate by memory over years. They don't travel 20 miles through unfamiliar territory. It was coincidence, luck, random chance. But looking at Eddie, the way he wouldn't leave my side, the way he kept looking up at me like he needed to confirm I was real, I wondered, maybe it wasn't random. Maybe some connections don't break. Maybe he'd been looking for me all along. We thanked the woman, offered to pay her for taking care of him. She refused. "Just love him," she said. "That's payment enough." We drove home. Eddie in the back seat, head on my shoulder the entire time. Every few minutes he'd lick my ear, like he was checking, making sure I was still there. My wife kept looking back at us, smiling. "I can't believe it," she kept saying. "I just can't believe it." Neither could I. When we got home, Eddie walked through the apartment slowly, sniffing everything, claiming it. This was his now. We'd moved since giving him away, different place, different smells. But he didn't care. Wherever I was, that was home. We'd already decided. Screw the lease. We'd pay the pet fee, pay the fine, whatever it took. Eddie was staying. He was never leaving again. That first night, he did something that broke me. After dinner, after exploring, after satisfying himself that this was real, he walked over to where I was sitting on the couch, and he lay down, right at my feet, exactly like he used to, exactly like he'd done with my grandmother all those years ago. At my feet, like always. I looked down at him, his gray muzzle resting on his paws, his eyes closed, content. After 2 years of separation, of wandering, of being lost, he was back where he belonged, at my feet, like nothing had changed, like no time had passed, like I'd never left him at all. My wife sat next to me, put her hand on my shoulder. "He forgave you." I didn't deserve it. Didn't deserve his forgiveness or his loyalty or his love, but he gave it anyway, because that's what dogs do. They love you despite your failures. They forgive you before you even apologize. They wait for you even when you don't deserve waiting for. The next few weeks were adjustment. Eddie was older now, slower. He couldn't run like he used to. His back leg bothered him sometimes. He slept more. But his spirit was the same. Still wanted to be involved in everything. Still followed me room to room. Still stole food if I wasn't paying attention. Caught him with a sandwich once, my sandwich, that I'd literally just made. Turned around to grab a drink, turned back, gone. Eddie in the corner, guilt and satisfaction warring on his face. Some things never change. We settled into a new routine. Morning walks, slower now. Evening cuddles, him at my feet while I worked. My wife would come home and say, "Where's Gramps?" And Eddie would wag his tail, happy to be remembered, happy to be home. I never took him for granted again. Every morning I'd wake up and he'd be there. Every night he'd lie at my feet. And every single time, I'd feel grateful. Grateful for second chances. Grateful for Facebook posts. Grateful for strangers who stopped for lost dogs. Grateful for whatever force in the universe decided I deserved another shot. People ask me sometimes if I believe in fate, in signs, in things happening for a reason. I never did before. Life felt random, chaotic. Things happened because they happened, no grand plan, no meaning. But Eddie changed that. Because what are the odds? What are the actual statistical odds that an old dog escapes after nearly 2 years, travels 20 miles through unfamiliar territory, gets found by a stranger kind enough to wait, posts on Facebook at exactly the right time, and that post gets seen by my wife who just happened to be scrolling? What are the odds that every single link in that impossible chain holds, that every piece falls into place exactly right? My friends had been devastated when he ran. They'd searched everywhere, posted in every group, called every shelter. Nothing. For 3 days he was just gone. And in that time, he traveled further from them and closer to me, through neighborhoods he'd never seen, past dangers he shouldn't have survived, until someone kind found him and stopped. People say it's coincidence, luck, random chance. Maybe it is. Maybe there's no grand design. Maybe the universe is chaos and we just find patterns because our brains need meaning. But when I look at Eddie, sleeping at my feet right now as I tell you this, gray muzzle resting on his paws, that soft breathing of an old dog at peace, I don't believe in coincidence anymore. I believe some connections are unbreakable. I believe love is stronger than distance or time or circumstance or fences or 20 miles of unfamiliar roads. I believe that if you're meant to find your way back to someone, somehow you will. Eddie found me. After I'd given up, after I'd convinced myself it was too late, that I'd destroyed something irreplaceable. After 2 years of guilt and regret and believing I'd lost him forever, he found me. Or maybe I found him. Or maybe, just maybe, we found each other exactly when we were supposed to. He's older now, gray muzzle, slower steps, but he's here, at my feet, like always. 2 years apart couldn't break what we had. Sometimes fate gives you a second chance. Sometimes love finds a way back. Don't give up on the ones who matter. Don't let circumstances win. He's lying at my feet, right where he belongs, like always.